Hi, my name is Elizabeth Brown. I'm a registered dietitian and a certified holistic chef. I'm 43 years old and I live in beautiful Santa Monica, California. Hi, we're at the farmer's market, which is a great place to get some of your local produce. Growing up, we didn't have farmer's markets where I'm from, but I had my dad's own organic garden, which he had as early as the 70s. So I grew up with organic produce. Then I moved to California and I don't have any room for a garden of my own, but luckily we have these wonderful farmer's markets where we can get all this great organic produce and we get to meet the farmers who grow it. Today I'm making tomato orange chutney chicken with baked kale chips. So to make the kale chips, I had to rinse my kale and let it dry. And then you could cut it with a knife, but I find it so much easier to just snip it with a scissors. Now the great thing about kale, it has wonderful anti-inflammatory properties. Just for 1 cup of raw kale, actually, you get 100 milligrams of those coveted omega-3 fats. So you want to make sure your kale is really dry because that's why we're putting it in the oven. Basically, we're going to be dehydrating it. But we cover it with oil because it protects the kale and it also helps with nutrient absorption. Toss with a little sea salt and then we put it on a baking tray lined with parchment paper. I never had kale growing up. In fact, when I was in college, I worked in the university dining room and I used to help the cooks prepare the salad bar. I used to make the garnishes and we used kale as a garnish. It would just decorate the salad, you know, to cover the space where the ice was. And so we would just rinse it off at the end of the day and reuse it. I had no idea how nutritious it was. Okay, so for the tomato orange chutney chicken, you want to make sure your chicken is rinsed and dried. Put it on a piece of parchment paper because we're going to pound it to flatten it. This is a good workout for your arms and your aggression. You put the chicken in the skillet. Okay, so now to make the sauce for the chicken, I'm going to combine one 14.5 ounce can of stewed tomatoes. Then I'm going to add the juice and the zest of 1 orange. Now since we live in California, we get oranges at our farmer's market. They're organically grown. I know the farmers, they're wonderful people. So when I first moved to Santa Monica, I really didn't know anybody, but I lived really close to this farmer's market. And so one day I just decided I'm gonna walk down to the farmer's market. I actually had it in my mind that I was gonna walk down to the farmer's market and somebody's gonna give me flowers. And ironically, somebody did. And I also made a lot of friends that day. And so the farmers behind me are some of the first people I met. Okay, so once we bring the sauce to a boil, it takes about a minute, then we add the chicken back and try and cover it with the liquid as best as you can. So here's our complete meal, the tomato orange chutney chicken with baked kale chips, all for 400 calories, 40 grams of muscle building protein, 42 grams of energy yielding carbs, and tons of antioxidant nutrients. And believe it or not, we made this whole meal for only $3 a serving. I'm Elizabeth Brown, the Kitchen Vixen, and I'll see you on the Food Network.